Coming to you from outside the Woody Hayes Athletic Facility as we make our way north to Ann Arbor. I'm Stephen Means, that's Stefan Krajisnik, and that is Andrew Gillis. And these are our game time decisions for Ohio State's game against Michigan. The game. These are where we talk about what could decide the game. And we finally have another game where it actually could decide the game. So, Gillis, what do you want to see on Saturday?
I want to see Ohio State's tackles hold up in pass protection. I think this is a big week for that. We talked so much about the game plan last year and how bad it was and, they got to throw the ball, and why don't they just simply throw the ball? And that's true. I'm not saying that the people who are saying that are wrong. I'm saying that they should just throw the ball. That should have happened last year. That should have happened last year. However, it was pretty clear that Michigan's defensive line, whether or not Ohio State was running the ball, throwing the ball, or taking a knee or whatever they wanted to do, Michigan's defensive line owned the day. Austin Siereveld and Phillip Daniels have to have a good day. Derek Moore's a really good edge rusher. Like, Rayshon Benny's really good on that defensive line too. Like, they've got a talented defensive line, and I know they're not Mason Graham. I know they're not Kenneth Grant. They're still talented. And all of Ohio State's issues from last year's game were like, we couldn't run the ball because we decided to run into the teeth of 2 top 5 picks. But I think there was kind of an underrated point of just like, Michigan won at the line of scrimmage. Like, they just straight up flat out won at the line of scrimmage. If Ohio State holds up in pass protection, I do not think they are going to repeat the same issues of last year. I do not think there's going to be the same problems from last year. I think they've learned their lesson. I think Ryan Day has learned his lesson. I think the entire offense has learned its lesson. I think they will be fine, but they have to block. They have to pass block, because then you start to get into this issue where, well, hey, Julian's got 2 seconds. The ball's got to come out quick. Maybe we have to run the ball to try and slow these edge rushers down. Like, you've got to protect. If you protect Julian Sand, I think Ohio State is going to win the football game.
2 seconds is a lot of time. In sports terms, 2 seconds is actually a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, but at that point, you're not saying Carnell Tate go deep, assuming health. You're not saying Jeremiah go deep. We can throw deep routes. It's got to be 1, 2, 3 throw. 1, 2, 3 balls out of his hand. It's got to be quick.
Interesting. You said Carnell Tate's name first. He must know something. Stefan, what do you want to see on Saturday?
Some of this goes off of what Andrew was saying. Andrew set up the video, so I don't know if you could see the name behind us, but they crossed out the M's.
All of them.
Yes. Yeah, they didn't miss any this time. That's because this game matters a lot, and Ohio State overthought the game last year. So I agree. Pass pro needs to hold up. They need to make sure that pass pro matters because they throw the ball. And the thing is, the 2 seconds, whether it's 1 second, I don't care. As long as the ball's out of Julian Sand's hand and into receiver, I don't care if it's half a second. I don't care if it's 10 seconds. Get the ball out of Julian Sand's hand and into the receiver. Use your weapons. Don't get in your own way. We've talked about it all week when talking about this game, and frankly, for a couple months now when looking ahead to this game, it's hard to find a football reason why Ohio State loses this game. They're stout on defense against a Michigan offense that's inconsistent. They have all the weapons on offense against a Michigan defense that lost first-round picks, especially at the line of scrimmage. I agree, their defensive ends and their edge rushers are pretty good. They've taken a step back at defensive tackle. So, right, like, Ohio State can win the line of scrimmage. It's hard to find a football reason, and that's what this rivalry has been. Last year was not specifically a football reason. Yes, they didn't win the line of scrimmage, but they also didn't have a proper game plan. Ryan Day said that. Ross Bjork has said that the game plan was not what it should be, or was not what it should have been last year against Michigan. If Ohio State's coaches don't get in these players' ways, it's hard to predict why Ohio State would lose this game. So, yes, pass pro very important. Make the pass pro matter. Do the right thing. Get the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I said his name first because he said he was playing. Get the ball to Brandon Innes. We know he's playing. Get the ball to Max Clare. We know he's playing. And if Carnell Tate's healthy, get the ball to Carnell Tate.
I like this. They're talking about throwing the ball. Wouldn't it be ironic if I talked about running the ball right now?
Please.
I'm not, because that's no bad Ryan Day, bad Brian Hartline. So remember last year in the playoff, we were having this conversation about should Ohio State take the ball first in the playoff games and kind of set the tone. Ryan Day talks a lot about the middle 8 and wanting to win the middle 8, which is essentially play well, but score last in the first half, get the ball first and come out and score in the second half, and you kind of flip games that way. I think that's important still, and it's an interesting thing, especially in these new rules with the new clock rules and whatnot, and games are a little bit shorter and there's a little less possessions. But then they got to the playoff and they took the ball first and they kind of set a tone in multiple games, right? Both in the Tennessee and in the Oregon game, they took the ball first and they scored, and it put a lot of pressure on Oregon and Tennessee's defense to come out and respond. Neither responded, and the rest was history. They didn't take the ball first against Texas, and I think that was because we know we can score on you guys. You guys, let's prove that you can score on us. But then they didn't take the ball again first in the national championship game because I don't think they won the coin toss. And I think Notre Dame took the ball first, which again, come out, have a good drive, take a lead, and see how that team responds. I am wondering if Ohio State uses that mindset in this game. If they win the coin toss, do they take the ball? In fact, if I'm Michigan, if I win the coin toss, I think I take the ball. I don't think Michigan, it's a good idea for them to get the ball for the first time and they're already down, whether it's 3 or whether it's 7, because then you're playing catch-up. I think Ohio State's offense can score with anybody in the country. I don't think there are many offenses in the country who can score with Ohio State when all of its weapons are working at a high level. Michigan is not one of those offenses that can do so. So I think if Ohio State gets the ball first and they come out aggressive, throwing the ball, whatever it is, if you come out aggressive on that opening drive, if you get the ball first and you go up 7-0, it puts a lot of pressure on Michigan and Bryce Underwood and this offense to respond. And teams who have been put in that position over the last 12 months have not necessarily responded well to that. So that's the thing I'm watching. Does Ohio State take the ball first? And do they go down there and score and put some pressure on a true freshman quarterback playing in the biggest game of his life? Those are our game time decisions. Get the text 614-350-3315. It's a 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that. We are headed to Ann Arbor. Later today, Ohio State's going to play Michigan at noon on Fox. I'll be there. Stefan will be there. Gillis will be there. See you after the game.